Hi, Room 15. It's Tuesday, April 28th, 2020. The lesson is multiplication introduction. We are officially starting multiplication today. So we are going to start by learning about equal groups. So we sort of started learning about multiplication last week when we looked at arrays and repeated addition, and we even started to write multiplication equations. But today we're going to look at multiplication in another way, using equal groups. So our learning targets are we can use manipulatives to create equal groups. Manipulatives are when you use like math tools or maybe objects to move around or manipulate. We can use math drawings to represent equal groups and relate to repeated addition. So you are going to need some materials today. You need to get your math journal from the materials that I sent home. If you don't have your math journal, then you can use a blank piece of paper. If you do have your math journal, just turn to a blank page to draw on, and then you need a pencil. So either your math journal or a blank piece of paper and a pencil. You also need to get 12 small objects from your house. You can use beans, pieces of pasta, crayons, beads, marbles, anything small. So, depending on what surface or area you are in at your house, you want to make sure that you have a flat surface because you're going to need a place to put all of your objects. Okay, so go ahead and go grab those materials. I suggest you press pause on the video and then unpause the video when you are ready. Okay, so now that you have your materials, let's get started. So first, let's discuss what are equal groups. Think about what those words mean. Equal groups. So to discuss what this means, we are going to take a look at pictures of counters. My manipulatives I'm going to be using today are counters, like we would use in class. So I want you to take a look and think at my picture if the groups are equal or unequal. So I have 3 circles, which are my groups, and then I have 2 red counters in each group. So do these groups look equal or unequal? If you said equal, you are correct. And remember what the word equal means. It means the same amount. So I have the same amount of counters in each group. And then equal groups basically means that you have groups of objects or items that are together and it is the same amount in each group. So in my picture, I have 3 groups because I have 3 circles, and then I have 2 in each group. So the groups are equal. So the groups are equal because there are 3 groups of 2 counters. So equal groups are groups that have the same amount of each group. So how many equal groups of 2 can we make with the 8 counters below? So let's try. So remember, I have 8 counters, but I only want 2 in each group. I have 1 group, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I was able to create 4 equal groups of 2. So what that means is there are blank groups of blank counters. So think about that sentence. So I need to fill in the blanks with the number of groups that I have and then how many are in each group. So there are 4 groups and then there are 2 in each group. So I would write 2 right there. So my sentence would be there are 4 groups of 2 counters. So now it is your turn. Now we are going to use the objects that you got. So you need to get the 12 small objects you chose. So maybe grab your beans, your pasta, your marbles, your buttons, whatever you chose to grab. And you want to make sure that you have 12 of them, okay? Then you need to arrange the objects into equal groups. So my friends, remember, equal groups means that you need to have the same in each group. You should not have like 2 in a group and then 5 in another group and then 3 in another group. those would not be equal groups. Remember, you need to have the same amount in each group. So there is more than one way to create equal groups. So you're just trying to figure out one way to separate the 12 objects into equal groups. Once you are done, you need to do step 2, which is then you are going to draw the groups on your paper and then draw circles around them. You can draw X's, you can draw little circles. I would suggest you do not do little dots, okay? X's and circles are a good way to see each little object in each group, if that makes sense, okay? Then you need to use this sentence frame to describe your equal groups in your math journal or your piece of paper. There are blank groups of blank objects. Remember what we did with the 8 counters? Remember I wrote there are 4 groups of 2 objects. So you need to write there are blank groups. So you would write the number of groups you have and then the number of objects. And remember, make sure your groups are equal. So once you do that, go ahead and pause the video. And then once you are done, unpause, and then we will check our groups together. So let's go. Now that you've unpaused and you've done those 3 steps, then you need to check. Let's check to see how many groups we could make to use. We could make using 12 objects. Okay, so I will come back to that slide. Okay, so here I have 12 counters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to show you one way you could have separated your 12 counters into equal groups. So I'm going to start with the easiest way, using my counters. And the reason it's the easiest is because you will see why in a minute. Oopsies. Let's make sure I have my 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, I have too many. I don't need these last 2. Now I'm going to draw a circle around each group. I have 1 in each group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I need 1 more. 12. So the reason why this is easy is because it's easy to just make groups of 1. I have 12 groups of 1. So if I were going back to that sentence, there are 12 groups of 1 object. I would take that S off because it's singular. Okay, so this is the easiest way. If you did this way, that's fine, but I want you to challenge yourself. Okay, so if you did 12 groups of 1 in each group, these are equal because they each have 1 in each group, but I want you to challenge yourself, okay? So I'm going to do it again. I have my 12 counters right here. Now I'm just going to take my doubles, my concept of doubles. Remember, doubles means that you add the same number 2 times, like 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2, 3 plus 3. If I have 12, the double would be 6. 6 plus 6 is 12. So I'm going to just make 2 groups of 6. Did I have too many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't need this. Okay, so I have 1 group here and 1 group here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 in each group. So there are 2 groups of 6 objects. Okay. Now, so if you did this way, awesome. Good job. Now I'm going to show you another way. Okay. So I have 12 counters here. Another way is to do groups of 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry about that. Okay, so I have 6 groups. 1, 2, group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, group 5, group 6. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So I have, let's go back to my sentence. There are 6 groups of 2 objects. Now, my friends, the 2 that I just did are almost opposite because here I have 2 groups of 6, but here I have 6 groups of 2. Do you notice how that kind of works? 2 groups of 6, 6 groups of 2. So these are almost opposite. All right, now I'm going to show you another way to do it. There are about 2 more ways, and then we're going to move on. So what I'm doing here is it's almost as if I were to take, let me see that. Let's choose this green color. If I were to take these groups and mash them together, these groups and put them together, and then these groups and put them together. So instead of groups of 2, I have now groups of 4. See how that works? So now I'm just going to make groups of 4. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to make another group of 4. Another group of 4. Let me put that over there. Oopsies. There we go. Now I have group 1, group 2, group 3. Group 1, group 2, group 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now there are 3 groups of 4 objects because I have 3 groups of 4. And they're equal because I have the same in each group. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 12 again, but now I'm going to do this. I'm going to make groups of 3. So what I'm sort of doing is instead of, this is what I had earlier. Groups of 4, right? That's what I just had, if you remember. But this time, I'm going to take 1 from each group and create another group. See how I did that? So instead of 3 groups of 4, I have 4 groups of 3. Group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Remember, I always have 12. Each of these examples, I always have 12, but we're just separating them or dividing them into different amount of groups and a different amount in each group, okay? So this time there are 4 groups of 3 objects. And these examples are sort of opposite, where I have 3 groups of 4 of 12 equals 12, but now I have 4 groups of 3, which equals 12. So it's sort of opposite, okay? So you just learned how to make equal groups. Woohoo! So now we're going to look at your assignment. So you need to go to Seesaw, go to Activities, and then you need to find the assignment that says Making Equal Groups, Beginning Multiplication. You, my friends, are so smart. You're doing high-level math now. So the directions are that you need to click the Add Response. Then you need to use the pen or pencil to circle the groups. Use the pen or pencil to write your answer on the line. When asked to draw in items, use the pen or pencil to make a quick sketch of a circle or an X, just like I said before, in the oval that is provided. When you're done, click the check. Okay, so what that means is you need to use the pencil tool or the pen tool, any color except yellow. If you use yellow, I won't be able to see it, okay? Unless you're drawing something, okay? But please try to use a different color besides yellow. I'm going to choose my favorite color, pink, okay? So, oopsie, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Let me erase that. Okay, so the first question is circle groups of 2. Remember, groups of 2 means you're putting a circle around it. Oh no, it changed my color. And then there should be 2 objects inside. Like that. So you're circling groups of 2. You can just circle the apples right on the screen. Okay. Now, let me erase that. Now, then you're going to put how many groups. So you need to count how many circles or groups you made, and then you write that answer there. Same with question 2, except this time you are doing groups of 3. Not 2, but 3. You need to make sure you read the directions. And then you write how many groups you made or how many circles you drew. Question number 3. Please listen. Okay. So redraw the 12 oranges into 4 equal groups. So we see the 12 oranges right here on the side, but they want you to separate them or divide them into groups of 4. Okay. So what you're going to do is, here's my suggestion. Okay. You can circle 4 equal groups, meaning you need 4 circles. So try to remember, we had 12 objects, and I showed you how many there should be in if you had 4 groups, 4 equal groups. But if you're not sure, here's my suggestion. I would put an X or a circle in these ovals, and I would do 1 in each. So I would do 1 right there. That would count as 1, and then I cross it off over here. Then I would go 2 and then cross it off. And then down here 3, and keep track of how many you're doing, because you should have a total of 12, okay, in your ovals. Not 12 in each, but a total of 12 X's. So you have to figure out how many go in each, okay? But I would do like 1 at a time in each, like 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you, until you have a total of 12. So right now I only have 4, and I'm going to keep going until I get to the number 12. Okay, does that make sense? And then you're going to then you need to write how many ended up in each group. Please make sure you check to make sure your groups are equal, because they need to have the same amount. If they don't have the same amount in each group, that means you may have maybe put 1 too many X's, or you just need to recheck your picture. Okay? Same with number 4. You need to redraw the 12 oranges, but this time you're doing 3 groups. So not 4 groups, but 3 groups. That makes sense? Okay. Now page 3. So question number 5, redraw the flowers to make each of the 3 groups have an equal number. So look at the flowers in the groups right now. This one has 4, this one has 2, this one has 3. Those are not equal. Remember, because equal groups means the same in each group. So you need to redraw the groups. Maybe you need to move some around. Maybe one group has more than another, so you need to take one of the flowers and put it into the other group, and then redraw it down here in the blank ovals. So remember, you want to draw an X. Oopsies. Let me get rid of that. Or you can draw a little like circle like that, like over here in the directions, okay? You can color it in if you want. You don't have to. So if you're going to color it in, I suggest you use this tool, okay? So then you need to draw your equal groups, okay? 3 groups of blank flowers equals blank groups. So you need to write how many ended up in each group and how many total flowers there are in the end, okay? Number 6, redraw the lemons to make 2 equal size groups. So you want, right now we have groups of 4. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So you want to make sure that when you're making your equal groups, you have 20 in the end. So remember what my suggestion was. I would cross one off and redraw it down here. Then I would take this lemon and redraw it down here. It's like 1 for you in this circle, then 1 for you in this circle. And make sure that you want to have a total of 20 in the end, because it's 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So you should have a total of 20, but you need to figure out how many lemons would go in the two groups. Okay? All right, my friends, when you're done with that, you're going to click the green check when you are done. Good luck.